Hey Jeff, good afternoon. This video is for you. This is in reference to your Dio, which is not that one, it's that one. And I am currently leveling off your intake manifold. We both know about the crack that is potentially in your manifold, but actually this is not a bad view. You can see that as I'm planing, actually let me just wipe the lens fingerprints off of there. Okay, that's that's a little bit better. See if I can zoom in here. So I am currently leveling this surface. Yeah, okay, now you can see it. Currently leveling this surface, and I'm using that wet spot with oil and some valve grinding compound, which is right here, and some really fine grit, 220. I'm going to get this intake manifold surface flat. You can see right in the middle, right there, those coarse. Remember the gasket was leaking through from there. So what I'm doing is I'm leveling off the entire surface so it's nice and flat so that that leak goes away. And that process involves a little bit of wet sand. Actually, just give this a shot of oil now. Gives it a little bit of wet sand, like this, on a nice flat marble surface. This marble slab is what I have. Some cutting paste is already on there. And then you want to run it around. Then turn it, run it around. And actually, I've been told by my mentor to do crazy eights. And then turn it, same thing, crazy eights. And then on the other side, you can see where the grinding still needs to get done, right in the middle. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm not going to hold the video going for the entire time of this, but I just wanted to show you where we're at and what's happening. Jeepers. Almost there, definitely getting closer, almost there. Okay, Jeff, looks like we did fairly well on the intake manifold. Got all that smoothed off nice and level. I also did a little bit of boring on the inside here just because it was a really really rough passage before I got in there. Now it's not as... Probably wipe that out, but it's a little bit smoother now, probably a lot smoother. All these little improvements will help the scooter perform. That's what we're after, is the inside of this. Yeah, see, that's where the cast goes together, and that's actually smooth. You can't feel it with your finger. But more importantly, that we get as smooth an intake manifold process as possible, right, from the carb to the reed valves. So that's that surface there. Here is the new reed cage. I actually did a little bit of smoothing on this as well. You can probably see some of the strike patterns on there. So these two sides will come together like that, right? A gasket in the middle, and then they sandwich together. And then all that's left is this top surface here. Another gasket goes in here. And this, as you can see with the letters being embossed in there, I won't be able to level this off. This is really sharp, actually. So I'll do a couple of passes with a file very gently just to get this as level as possible. And then I think instead of actually using a paper gasket, I'll probably use goo, just because I'll never know if this surface here is actually level. So this goes, if my hand is the engine block, it will go goo around the hole, and then the reed valve cage, and then the manifold will go on with the gasket, will go on top of that like that. And that's the process. Yeah. Okay, still at it. Okay, so here we are in the next step. So I'm running this very thin file over the reed cage on the backside, and anywhere that you see it smooth and polished is where the file doesn't touch it. Anywhere that you see it dry and scored, obviously, is where the file has been. So you can see I'm actually pretty happy that I went ahead and did this on the reed cage, even though this is new. It's not level, it's not flat, and we're going to try and get it as flat as possible so when it mates the engine block, there's no way for, well, there's reduced rays for intake to leak into atmosphere and vice versa. So quite a few more steps to go, but making progress. Okay, so final steps now. Just wanted to show you where we are. There are two divots on either side of the reed cage that were made from injection molding. I don't know what this is. This is not a plastic. This is like some sort of resin or something. But with that, there these little divots. There's one on this side and there's one on the other side, and they're shiny and nice. And you can tell that the file can't touch them because the file is flat, but the dip, is fairly deep. Now, I really don't like these because they're right in a very sensitive place where sealing is most important. I ran the file around the backside as well just to see how far off it was, maybe a little bit more here. But I think with a generous amount of goo, I should be able to get this surface sealed. Remember, this goes actually on the engine, and then there's a gasket here, and then the intake manifold goes on top of that. So we're good here. We're good with the gasket, and we're good with the manifold. You saw it all polished and nice. But this side here is a risk. And I'm not a big fan of this because to get to this level means everything has to come off just to get it if it provides a leak. And I'm also concerned that if I keep filing away at this, the bloody thing will be so thin that this whole surface will just be wiggly because, the file is flat and straight, but, the motion of filing is not. Anyway, so okay, man, I'll talk to you later. Okay, now comes the absolute party fun time of this job, and that is clean the gasket off of the actual intake. This, as you know, is a very, very small space. There's not a lot of room. I will remove probably this piece of fairing just so I can get a cleaner access to that. I also have to find a very clever way not for shit to get in there. But all that's got to be cleaned off, so wish me luck. Yahoo! Okay, my friend. Got a pretty good cleanup of the actual intake. That paper towel and shit shoved in there is on purpose. That's to stop stuff from getting in there. And I used this liquid carb clean that I can't show you the label of because undoubtedly YouTube will get after me for copyright infringement or something. But yeah, I just used this liquid carb clean spray on stuff to clean it off. And yeah, it's looking like a pretty good surface overall. Maybe a few more light touch-ups where it's most difficult to reach. But again, this is the side of the reed cage that we couldn't really file around. You can even see indents from where the previous, the lighting is terrible. Oh my God. Okay, I can zoom from here, but what I'm talking about is that little indentation right there next to the screw hole to the right of it. There's a perfect little, well, almost perfect little circle there. And that is an indent from the previous reed cage. And you can see clearly where it had been leaking right out of the atmosphere. I'll use this very blunt file, but you can see this corner right here. This is where it all sealed around the circle. It's sealed there. But all this area here, all that's a leak. All along there. Yeah. Anyway, got it all cleaned off, and we are almost at the rebuild stage. I just want to clean all this area off completely and lay down some goo, and we'll go from there. Oh my God. Okay, I got the first part down. I would have showed you this process, but my fingers were covered in goo. So there it is. That's going to set overnight, and then I will start the rebuild process tomorrow. There it is.